the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Yana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
Hello, and welcome once again to another Tuesday where your host, your guy, the Dressed Down CEO, is back at it again, bringing you information that's going to help you with getting to that next level. Getting to that next level of financial understanding, getting to that next level of security when it comes to how we're using our resources, getting to that next level when it comes to teaching and educating your youth, the individuals within your household, getting to that next level as we transition from a pandemic into or back to some form of normalcy, getting into and setting up yourself for success for the upcoming year. We know it's been tough on you. We know it's been rough on you. And it's now our time to help you to get to that next level. We got to level up. So welcome, everybody. My name is Tyrone Glover, and I'm the CEO of Leverage Credit Recovery. I am your Dressed Down CEO because this is how I am. This is what I do every day. I go to school, educate kids, come home, look forward to preparing myself for my clients, and then preparing myself for this day right here, the Tuesday, the day that I really, truly look forward to, because it's about you. It's about giving you valuable information, concrete information that's going to help you get to that next level. And I thank everybody who makes the time to view. Thank you so much, because it means the world to me that you make that time, because we're trying to find time to solve this or find time to solve that or find time to get to wherever it is or whatever it is that we're attempting to do. You're never going to find that time. It's now a reality check that we have to make time for these particulars. And this is a time frame in which you should be making that time to join me on Tuesdays, because I'm telling you now, the gold nugget that you're going to be able to walk away with, they're only going to help your financial standings. They're only going to get you, again, to that next level. So as always, I got to thank the Creator for waking me up this morning, giving me that breath to allow for me to get through the day and get here today to be with you. I got to thank Soul City Network for the opportunity that they presented to me last year, and it has been a wonderful journey, and I look forward to the upcoming seasons and the upcoming years. It's been a great opportunity. It's been a great experience to open up something that I really, inside myself, never really thought I had, to be someone, a personality who can sit in front of a video screen and talk to individuals. But when you're a teacher and you get comfortable with that aspect, when you were a former flight attendant and you get comfortable with that aspect, when you are part of the corporate America structure, always in an executive position, you get kind of used to those structures and how, I guess that's what shaped me into now being the presenter that I am today. So again, to all of you, thank you very much who do what you do to make the time to be here. I want to give a good and proud shout out to one of the mentors that I loved and I appreciate, Dr. Yana B. Woodhouse. Her show is on Thursdays at this same time frame, and Access Wealth Nation. Again, Access Wealth Nation, Dr. Yana B. Woodhouse. Please, everybody, if you're tuning into this show, you should tune into that show equally as well. It's just double the fun, double the pleasure. That's basically what it is. Double the fun, double the pleasure. One gives you a outlook on what your credit standing should look like and how you can get there, and another show gives you the full picture of what your investments, of what your opportunities can be when it comes to insurance. Dr. Yana B. Woodhouse, I have to tell you, if you're missing that show, you're missing out on some very, very valuable information. But again, as I always tell you, thank you for tuning in, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to educate you on the particulars of when it comes to credit. But today we're going to be talking about the disparities in the working environment and what we were able to uncover. It's pretty alarming. It's pretty shocking, to be honest with you. It's just pretty shocking to think about how we should be gaining ground, but we're losing more and more ground. And today I want to help us navigate into just addressing the understanding that we're going to have to take this horse by the reins. We're going to have to break this horse and get this horse to do what we want it to do. And if we don't, you can't blame no one. The time for the man is holding me down, those days are over. Those days are over. It's time for now. We have to do our part. And when I mean by we, I mean we blacks. What I mean by we, I mean we males. What I mean by we, I mean we women. What I mean by we is our brothers and sisters on the Hispanic side. What I mean by we is our brothers and sisters from the Middle East. What I mean by we, our brothers and sisters who are Asian. What I mean by we is our brothers and sisters who are Anglo-Americans, poor Anglo-Americans. Because for whatever reason, and I've said it before, our poor Anglo-American brothers and sisters, for whatever reason, they believe that the previous groups that I just mentioned, they think that we're taking something from them. But it's not so. It's not the case. The narrative is corrupt. The narrative is distorted. The narrative is being directed by those who are the elites pitting other groups and ethnicities against each other. So it's really time that we start driving this car. We have to remove the individuals. I know I was using a horse analogy previously, but we have to now start driving. Whether we're driving the horse and buggy, it's okay. Whether we're driving the car, whether we're driving the train, whether we're flying the airplane, it doesn't matter. We have to start driving. We have to start taking the control back from those who believe they have control. Because because it still says we the people in the Constitution. Still says we the people. And as long as we the people can understand that we have the power, then we have to do something to regain that understanding. Change the narrative, change the directions, improve the circumstance. It's just that simple. Stop letting those who believe they have power, Manchin, Sinema, Mitch McConnell, the entire Republican Party. You don't have no power. You don't. You have fictitious power that you have put into your head and actually put it into our brains to think that you have some. But that's another topic for another day. As always, tap that person, go find someone, tap them on that shoulder and say, hey, that guy is back on again. That CEO guy is back on again. He's talking about some more gold nuggets. He's trying to fill you up with information that's going to get you to that next level. And I'm telling you, data is so important. So find that person, go to your cellular device, and add those people. Start sending them an invite. Send them an invite. Tell them, hey, he's back on again. Show that love, because I'm going to constantly keep showing it to you. And if you know somebody who could benefit from this, go ahead. Send them the information. Tell them to log in. We are live. We are live. Live. I'm sending my information out right now to as many people that I have in my Facebook Messenger. If you got other means of being able to send things out, go right on ahead and do that as well, because all that's going to do is, as I stated, it's going to allow for us to make sure that individuals in need of our services, individuals in need of just this information can get this information. If we are holding on to this information for ourselves, we're not doing very much to enhance or make sure that our community our community has the ability to equally gain this knowledge. And I know for a fact that all of us are attempting to do what we can do to make sure that our neighbors, our friends, our loved ones, those that we call our nearest and dearest, we want to make sure that they're equally okay. So if you can do that for me, I'd be greatly appreciative. While you're doing that, I'm getting ready to jump on into these subject matters. And what we're going to be talking about, as always, is just making sure. My name is Tyrone Glover. Again, Leverage Credit Recovery CEO, and our recovery depends on what we do now. What we do now, not what we do tomorrow, not what we do or have done previously, but what we do now. If we do what we need to do now, I'm telling you, and stay consistent with that now, oh, we're going to be perfectly fine. We're going to be okay. We're going to be fine. We have to start at some point, and I'm asking everybody, start now. Start now. Start today. With this information that I'm going to be giving you, I'm almost certain that it's going to help you navigate through some particulars. It's going to give you a clear-cut understanding of what you should be doing. It's going to show you some data that you probably didn't even know of. But this is what we do. Education, highlighting education, financial literacy has to become primary. So as these individuals are deciding which direction this nation is going to go, financial literacy has to drive the conversation. And that needs to be on all fronts. All of our nonprofit organizations. Do you have a financial component? YMCA here in Yonkers. YMCA across the globe. Do you have a financial component? I know you folks are occupying or allowing for residents to live in your spaces, which I think is a beautiful thing. It keeps them off the streets, and that's fantastic. But do you have a financial component? All of you nonprofit organizations, whether you be here in Yonkers, whether you be across the in our neighboring communities, do you have a financial component? While we're looking for jobs, while we're looking to make sure that individuals are employed, making that $15 an hour, but do you have a financial component to help them get to that next level? This is what this show is about. Really making sure that institutions and companies equally have some form of a financial component to help their employees. Just by giving you a job and you still have no money management understandings, that's really not helping you. We want to make sure that you are gainfully employed. We want to make sure that you have all of the skill sets that you need to keep that employment. We want to equally make sure that when the opportunities come up for advancement, that you're not going to be held back because of what your credit past may look like. We want to make sure that equally that you are not held back from the borrowing or the lending opportunities that will be out there. And they will be out there. I'm telling you, in the next 6 months, depending on what Congress does or does it do, it really doesn't matter. If you do your part with the assistance and the gold nuggets that we provide here, with the assistance and the gold nuggets that Dr. Yana B provides, I'm telling you now, you're going to be set for success. But it's up to you. It's not up to me. It's up to you. All right, so the economic state of Black America, what is it and what could it be? I'm just saying, that is the question for I'm leaving with you today. The economic state of Black America, what is it and what could it be? All right, so food for thought for you. Closing racial gaps across the economy is not only about righting historical wrongs, it's also about choosing a more dynamic future and realizing the full potential of a massively underutilized source of talent, to the benefit of all Americans. All right. So basically what that's more or less telling you is that if we close that gap, everyone benefits. Everyone benefits if we close that gap. And we got to think about that gap because it's only getting larger and larger and larger and larger. And the next couple of slides that you're going to see will show and will indicate that. We do a lot, but we're not compensated for the things that we do. And that is what's going to harm us. It's going to constantly keep us in a perpetual state of fear. It's going to constantly keep us in a perpetual state of not being able to provide sufficiently for our families. And that's not what we as Blacks nor Hispanics do traditionally. We still spend. we will go out and spend. We will go out and do what we have to do to make sure that we have those opportunities at our dinner tables, or those opportunities on our children's feet, or those opportunities when it comes to whatever devices that we want. We'll go out and do, but we need to now start acting accordingly. Smarter, wiser. We need to start thinking about, is my dollar working for me, or is it working hard for somebody else? I've talked about it on many occasions of what we as people have to do. We have to stop that spending of resources that do not add to that bottom line. It's got to now start being about return on my investment. Just because I make a purchase, that's not a return. That's not a return on my investment. That's a thank you from the location that I decided to frequent. That's what that is, depending on, again, what form of method I'm using to do that exchange or that commercing. It's really important to understand that. If you're not getting a return on your investment, and this right here, by closing that gap, that would be a huge return on our investment. Plus, it would free up so much more resources. It's really important that we start thinking about what we and how we are using our resources. All right, the disparities on display during the COVID-19 pandemic was a jolt to the American conscience. Job losses were greater for people of color, many of whom lacked savings to cushion the financial blow. The long-standing issues of underperforming public schools and gap in digital infrastructures exacerbated losing amongst children of color. And this is so significant from somebody who's a teacher. I teach in a school. The school is a fantastic school. Our leadership is so amazing. I really, truly appreciate every single morning waking up and going to see all of my kids from the pre-K all the way up to the 8th grade. And I love it. I appreciate it. I thank Yonkers Public Schools for giving me the opportunity. I thank all of the schools that I've had the opportunity of frequenting and being part of their staff. But this particular year, they called me back to the school that I was in last year, and I am having a blast. But as I stated, and as this report is equally underlining, underperforming public schools and gap in digital infrastructures, they exacerbate the learning loss amongst children of colors. And it is true. Slow technology. I don't know why Optimum decided to put up there, they gave $1 million or $10 million or whatever it was. Optimum, please stop. You're playing yourself. Because, again, Robert Reich, excellent. I think he was the labor secretary under Bill Clinton, put out a beautiful, fantastic video that literally shows exactly that these companies who give, or these individuals with deeper than deep pockets, when they give, there's a write-off to that. They can get that money right back. So they're really not doing anything. Plus all of the subsidies that these companies end up getting anyway. It's a farce. If they were to just literally say here, and then do the follow-ups when you do say here, you give resources, but there's nobody out there who's following up to make sure that the things were executed accordingly. So don't attempt by your words or your advertisements, literally get those resources into those hands of individuals like myself who really are about making sure that we can close some of these understandings. Yes, the pandemic has put a lot of us in harm's way, but it still did not stop that shopping. Shopping is still crazy. I was just at the mall a couple of days back, and the parking lot jam-packed. So people are spending, people are using their resources. The question is, how are they using it? Is it benefiting them? And based on what I've already been able to uncover just in the last 6 months, people are being harmed by their choices of methods of payment. They're not getting a return on their investments. I'm telling you now, if you go to any one of your favorite stores, they're going to sell you whatever it is that you're looking to get. But I guarantee you, they didn't purchase it at that price point. They did not purchase it at that price point. They did not purchase it at the price point that you purchased it. They got it at a much, much lower price point. So it's really, again, important to understand the integral pieces, for understanding what is literally going on when you are spending your dollar. That dollar has to have a return on investment. With Black workers concentrated in low-wage frontline jobs that could not be done remotely, exposed to the virus, and inadequate access to healthcare, cost living, widening an already sharp racial gap in life expectancy. So again, we already know where the problem lies. We already know what the issue is. If our elected officials can't help us with this piece, we're going to have to take it on our own. We're going to have to make sure that we have the experts, the professionals, those who are committed, dedicated, those advocates, those activists who understand the importance of making sure that we close these gaps. If our elected officials can't do it, I'm telling you right now, I know I can do it. I know Jeff Bezos gave a reporter, Van Jones, $100 million. Jeff Bezos, if you are out there and you still got another extra $100 million that you want to give to somebody, I'm open for it. If anybody out there knows Jeff Bezos and he's still in that giving mood, I'm open for it. I know exactly what I would do with every last penny of that $100 million that he gave to. Again, he gave not just to Van Jones, he gave it to a couple of individuals. I guess it was to divide amongst themselves, but that's still a lot of resources. I can just imagine, but a portion of that, what I could do with all of the schools here in Yonkers, every single last one of them. Financial literacy would definitely be head of the class. I'm telling you right now, we start teaching our kids what we never were taught. It's over. It's over. You think they're afraid of us now. You think they were scared of us back when we had Black Wall Street. Wait till they get a hold of this, what we're about to want to do or what we're about to do. It's just a matter of time, folks. And I'm hoping that everyone who does take and make the time to be here every single week, that you take this information and you let it marinate for a little bit, but then you go out and you share it, or you then start executing it. You start putting your best foot forward when it comes to your financial understanding. The pandemic did enough against us previously. Prior to the pandemic, it did more than enough against us. Now it's our time to move past all of these misunderstandings and start correcting the narrative. It's just that simple. So Black work faces gap in representation, presentation, and pay. So again, Black workers face gaps in representation. So we don't have anyone really truly representing us when it comes to, because as I just said, our elected officials, and I'll give them some kudos, but for the most part, it's still mind-boggling that our Congress still thinks that $7.25 as a federal minimum wage is sufficient. It's mind-boggling that when I drive or go through city to city, state to state, town to town as a former flight attendant, which I did, and see the infrastructure's near collapse. It's mind-boggling because we don't have proper representation. If we did, we wouldn't be having this discussion about infrastructures and the failings of multiple infrastructures. Participation, our participation rate, Bill Maher was talking about it on his show on Friday, which I love. So, Bill, if you're out there and you're looking for somebody to come on, which I think you should start looking at citizens like myself. I know you bring on your panels of high-profile individuals, but you need to start bringing those high-profile individuals with some of us low-pros rock stars in our communities. I'm telling you right now, the dialogue that we would be having would be something of noteworthiness. Not saying that your show isn't already. I love the show. I'm going to be a lifelong viewer of that show. But let's think strategically. Participation is a big piece. If you're not in it to win it, what are you doing? If you're not in it to win it, if you're not in it to see dividends at the end of those, whether they be a week, whether they be a month, whether they be a year, if you're not making a return on your investment, what are you doing? Because that's just taking up space, and we can't be taking up any more space. It's got to be a win. It's got to be a win. 2021 was supposed to be that 2020 WON, not just the number one, but it was supposed to be that 20 WON, and it still could be a win. Still could be a win. It's completely up to the individual. So that participation means a lot. If you're at work, participate. If you're if you're at school, participate. Raise that hand. If you're doing everything that you should be doing, make sure that participation is included in that understanding. All right, because the representation is not there, but your participation might have you stand out. And also in pay. We know that gap between Black work faces when it comes to that pay, that's why I put them words big and bold. Pay us for our talents, pay us for our skills, pay us for the work that we do. Stop shortchanging yourself by allowing others to shortchange you. It's just that simple, folks. Let's get on board. Understand that again, Black work face gaps in presentation, representation, and in pay. Or excuse me, participation. My apologies. All right, researchers has documented geographic mismatches between Black workers and opportunities. Excuse me. Under presentation in fast-growing, high-wage industries, low odds for advancements, and high attrition for Black workers in frontline and entry-level jobs. This is more or less explaining to us that they're not even considering us a lot of the times for these high-wage jobs in industries where, again, we could excel just like anyone else. But why are they not considering us? Why are they just overlooking us? Is it that we're not qualified? Which I believe probably more of us are probably overqualified. All right. We got to stop selling ourselves short. We got to be able to, when it comes to those interviews. And I just saw in Yonkers, they're going to be having a job fair. And there was like 1,400 employees that were going to be. It's a virtual job fair, 1,400 for Yonkers. And I'm sure it's going to be in neighboring communities as well. But these are major opportunities. And a lot of us are going to miss out because, one, we're not going to show up. So our participation rate is going to be little to none. And then when we show up, we might not even be adequately prepared to express to our employers the importance of why I would be a benefit to that company. Not why I can come to you and work for you, but why I would be an asset to that company. And that's the importance of understanding who you are. Know your worth, know your value. All right, low participation in executive roles and a lack of sponsorship and allyship for Black employees. We need people within these industries equally to be looking out and going, hey, wait a minute. There's something kind of wrong here. There's no diversity. Either it's oversaturated with this or oversaturated with that, and this bits and sprinkles here of this and that. That's not how it's supposed to be. If you're going to have a diverse workforce, then it should be somewhat, shall we say, equitable when it comes to the employee faces that we see amongst the crowd. And unfortunately, we still don't see that. The occupational lens taken in this work is an important complement to this, and it is inevitable linked to the wage gap, which holds the key to greater economic mobility if addressed. And that part for me, it was the best, which holds the key to greater economic mobility if it's addressed. I'm addressing it. I'm addressing it today, that we have to do more in this direction. We have to make sure that we are properly represented. We have to make sure that those high wage industries are looking at individuals of color. And if you are more than qualified, you should not be selling yourself short because you might believe, due to whatever reasons, that you're not going to get that job. Well, my job here is to help you make sure that you understand that you are worthy of that job and you can have that job. You just got to want it more than those who are presenting it to you. It's just that simple. We not only focus on making sure that you are credit worthy and financially stable, we're also looking at how do you present yourself to employers. I'm one who really, truly is emphatic about making sure that anyone going to a job interview is dressed properly, has the proper understanding of the company prior to getting there, so that when they are asked certain questions about a company, that they know exactly what to say. I'm someone who also equally makes sure that your verbiage of how you are being spoken to or spoken at is at the highest of understandings, because that all encompass what you are overall looking for. If you get that position, they're going to be looking for that same person that they interviewed. They're not going to be looking for someone lesser than. They're going to be looking for that same person every single day. And if you can bring that, you're going to be good. You're going to get that opportunity. You're going to be able to advance throughout the opportunities that's going to be given. And it's going to help you with making sure that the household understands the importance of doing these things as well. So it's not always just about the bottom line of credit, but it's about the bottom line of return on your investment. We understand credit is the foundation. For us, it's the foundation. And we're attempting to make it the foundation for you as well. The job is just an asset. That's what the job is. It's an accessory. That's all it is. It's an accessory. It allows for me to be able to do. But if I have exceptional credit and I'm able to not only just do for me, but I'm able to pass that information on to everybody within my household, and then they pass that information on to everybody within their circles, oh, we're going to be fine. We're going to be set up for the rest of our days. We just got to get in front of the things that are holding us back. And we're looking for greater economic mobility. It's up to us, folks. Oh, take a look at this. Addressing disparities in less than 4% of occupational categories could close more than 60% of the aggregate wage gap in Black workers. Aggregate values of closing representation gap within occupational wage gaps, 20 occupational categories with large gaps of Black workers. So this is talking about in the billions of dollars. So take a look at other managers. Represented gap without occupational wage gap. So we're looking at a huge opportunity that is still there. Public and private executives. Still a major gap that is keeping, again, Blacks from these particular opportunities. And why? Physicians, software developers, wholesale and manufacturing sales representatives. Why? Why aren't we not able to obtain these opportunities? Why? What is it that we lack that our Anglo male brethren, or maybe even our Asian brethren, or maybe even our Hispanic brethren are more or less getting, and we're sitting back wondering why? There's no reason. There's absolutely no reason. So the disparities within these particular fields must be closed. They must be reduced so that we, the individual, has the Black individual has the same opportunities. There's no reason that we are not sitting equally in these same positions, in these same opportunities that are other ethnicities that are within this country have the opportunities to. It's up to us. If we want to close these gaps, it's up to us. If we want the benefits of, it's going to be up to us. We have to believe, we have to trust, we have to have faith. And if you do those three things, the rest of it is easy, because those who want to educate you and make sure that you have, we're already here. We're already in those positions. We already possess the skill sets. I chose not to continue with corporate America because I saw all of the disparities that I'm pointing out to you right now. I saw them in all the jobs that I had, whether it be with United Airlines, whether it be with Petco, whether it be with UPS, whether it be with Foot Locker, whether it be with Universal, NBC, whether it be with any company that I work for, even the United States military. The disparities are huge, and it's unfortunate because of our skin color. That's all it is, nothing more. We possess probably greater abilities, but unfortunately, because of what they already have perceived notions of Blacks, that's the only thing that's keeping us from. Now, I'm not going to say that's the only thing. That's part of. Clearly, our Congress is a major part in why these disparities and these gaps keep getting larger and larger and larger. We have to change the narrative. When we change the narrative, we change the circumstance, we improve our opportunities. Black workers are disproportionately represented in low-wage occupations and underrepresented in high-wage occupations. It's just that simple. Low wage occupations, fast food workers, retail clerks, customer service agents, low wage opportunities. We need to be in higher wage opportunities, management. Why can't we be in management? And if we are in management, why aren't they paying accordingly? Clear racial patterns continue to exist across the U.S. labor force. As Exhibit 2, nearly half of Black workers are concentrated in healthcare, retail, and accommodations and food services, the industries that I just called out. The vast majority of Black workers within these industries are in low-paying service roles rather than professional or managerial roles. This is unacceptable. And this ties directly into our money management. Because when there's not sufficient income there, we're going to make poor money management decisions. And those poor money management decisions have been going on for decades. But even though that money may not be there, we here at Leverage Credit Recovery, we know how to even navigate through keeping those who are in low wage earning jobs. We are even able to help you maintain not only just a positive credit understanding, but also due to that positive credit understanding, we can help you get to those managerial jobs. We can help you get into those professional upper opportunities that are out there. And it's just how we address with you, your money management, and then how we put you into a great understanding of how do you present yourself to others. Because once you got a good handle on your money, you're going to want to know all the rest of it. It's just that simple. You're going to want to know. If we can get you focused, fixed, and organized properly when it comes to your your money, it's going to be easy to transition you or move you into, well, what's next? And that's your appearance. When you start taking care of your money, there's a new bounce in your step. There's a new fondness to how you appreciate life, and you're going to start wanting to do more of that. Right? It's just that easy. Professional. So the types of pattern produces the wage gaps. The median wage for all us workers is around $42,000 per year, but 43% of Black workers earn less than $30,000 per year. So again, just thinking about that for a second. If you did, meaning if a colleague of yours did happen to get into a professional or a managerial role, they're going to be making $42,000. But 43% of Black workers will be making less than $30,000. That gap right there, that $12,000 might not seem like a lot, but I know in commercials, they always say, oh, $10,000, $2,000, $3,000. It's really, to be honest with you, $12,000 can't buy you what it could buy you 25 years ago. It's just that simple. Cost of living threw that out the roof. It's gone. It's gone. But $12,000 is no chump change. That's money that could, again, eventually, if one thought about it, that's going to be a nice investment. That'd be a nice opportunity to put towards someone's 401k. That'd be a nice opportunity to invest in those 6 or 7 asset classes out there that we are not investing in. So there are opportunities. Closing the gap is only going to give us back those opportunities. That's all it's going to do. It's going to give us back those opportunities that clearly we are losing, and not only losing at the, in my opinion, an exponential rate that we should not be losing these opportunities to. So it's not up to me, folks. It's up to you. I'm going to make sure that I give you what you need so you can go out there and do what you must do. The opportunities that I myself have been able to acquire only came through somebody sitting me down and saying, what is it that you want to do? You got to figure it out yourself first, what you want to do. And then someone said, okay, now that you know what you want to do, how's your finances? Oh, then they say, well, we know what we got to do to help you get to that next level when it comes to your finances. And I'm so grateful to my ex-wife's family who sat me down and said, if you can be part of this family, it doesn't matter who our daughter loves, but if you want to be part of this family, you're going to have to do just like we do. You got to be educated. You got to be smart. You got to be able to go out there into the world, fend for yourself, do for yourself, and not take any prisoners. Be nice, as Patrick Swayze would always say, be nice until you don't have to be nice. All right, so take a look at this. This is the Black workers and concentrated in low paying occupations and underrepresented in high paying roles. Now, you might not be able to see this area in here as well as I can, but if you can, this is where the majority of Black folks reside. Right here in this lower echelon. Look at that. Under $50,000. Under $50,000. The representation is staggering. It's staggering. It's disappointing to me as well. Now, good. Again, as I said, we get some sprinkles out here in that 100,000 range. We barely have anything out here in that 150,000, 200,000 range. And I can just imagine we probably have nothing out in that larger capacity. But you can see where the majority of our wages are more or less concentrated. So it's really important that we all start looking at the opportunities that are there and start focusing on those opportunities, because it's only going to get better for us as time goes on. It's only going to get better for us. This area here where you see, again, as I said, major concentration, we could move some of these numbers into, it's just, again, representation. It's just, again, participation. And again, pay. Nobody's going to work for free. And a lot of us are giving our hard-earned, God-given talents to our employers nearly for free. Nearly for free. So this graph and the previous graphs, I hope that literally opens your eyes and it makes you now think about what you as an individual of color could be doing to help yourself. More than 35% of all U.S. nursing assistants are Black, with a median wage of $23,000. Exhibit 3 will explain that to you. Many are hired as independent contractors without employer benefits. And this is the part that really gets me. No employer benefits or no protections. Because at $23,000, there's not possible that you can go out on your own and get these necessities. Benefits are a necessity. They should be mandated that if you're an employer, that you're going to make sure that you have healthy employees by offering them the care that's necessary for them to constantly keep coming back to work. I don't get how, and again, someone who's traveled the globe, someone who's been to multiple countries, I don't understand how in this country we do not make sure that we have healthy employees. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand why it's a problem to provide for. If you yourself as an employee can't, then you should be doing everything that you possibly can to make sure that there's some wages so that the employee can do for themselves. But at $23,000, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not. It's not. If you take that, half of that is your rent. Okay, half of that is your rent. $23,000, that means you're left with 10, 13, 11, 5. That means you're left with 11.5. That's not going to do it for the whole year. Break 11.5 down to 365 days. It's not going to be possible. It's not going to be possible. Roughly 1/3 of all security guards and school bus drivers are Black. They earn a median wage of $26,000 and $26,500 respectively. It's not going to work. You take that, that's $13,000. $13,000. That $13,000 is your rent. That's half of that 26. That goes automatically to rent. So you're going to try to make do with the rest of that $13,000 again. Do the math. 13,000 divided by 365 days. Now, I always have to put this out there because this is a live show. And with live shows, you're going to get a lot of understandings that, you know, you might hear a fire engine go by. You might hear a door open or close. But this is the challenges that one has to take when one does a live show. So thank you so much, everybody, for being so patient and understanding that, you know, when we're doing this live, I want to make sure that everybody gets exactly what they are entitled to, but sometimes due to, you know, some noise in the background or things of that nature. But as I stated, I sincerely appreciate everyone who makes the time to come out. With few structured pathways for professional advancements. Few. Why are there so few? Why? With now the opportunities that are available, with everybody claiming that they don't want to go back to work, there should be more than enough. There's being more than enough opportunities. So those individuals of color, I'm telling you now, get with Leverage Credit Recovery. Let us help you, number one, focus on gaining that financial understanding. Number two, help you get you to a presentable understanding of how you go and start job interviewing. Let us help you equally with maintaining a professional vocabulary. Let us equally help you with understanding that when you are on the job, do the job. When you are there, do that job. That's what they hired you for. They hired you to do that job. And if you do that job, I'm telling you now, if you live up to what we are presenting to you today, there's nothing that's going to stop you. You're going to feel so good about yourself. You're going to be so empowered. And if you are empowered, if you have faith that you can do all things through the Creator, there's nothing that's going to stop you. And all I'm asking is allow for me, the coach, to hold that hand, to walk you through, because you're going to need one. Most people have coaches. Not all. I take that back. But look at your athletes, coaches. How many of you watch the football games? Coaches. How many watch basketball games? Coaches. How many of you watch tennis? Coaches. How many of you watch any type of athletic opportunity? Even some of our actors, coaches. Okay? People have coaches for reasons, because we don't possess all of the things that we need in life. So we need someone who can coach us through those understandings. And that's what I'm offering here today. The opportunity to help you get out of these low-wage jobs and now focus on opportunities that you may have thought were not going to be there. So the Black workers are disproportionately represented in low-wage occupations today. And here is just a little bit of a staggering numbers. When you look at the medium wages of Black workers, it's for me, I don't know how. I really don't. I'm always taken back by these numbers, because they're it don't add up. It don't. Childcare workers, $12,000. Cashiers. And again, these are not individuals that are 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. No, these are 35-year-olds, 40-year-olds. Okay? How? I'm still mind-boggled by finding this information, how distraught I was by putting this together, thinking, oh my goodness. But even with these low wages, with the opportunities that can be provided, with making sure that you know how to manage your money properly, you know how to sufficiently go out and shop accordingly to your income, also using your credit as a means of leverage. Oh, this is only going to make these numbers disappear. Because with a $12,000, which again, daycare worker, or excuse me, a childcare worker, a cashier, cooks, maids and housekeepers. Again, these are all occupations that primarily are staffed with, oversaturated with Blacks and Hispanics. We have to do better, folks. We have to do better. We have to want better. And we have to almost make our employers value us. And if they don't, it's nothing wrong with picking up that hand, saying adios, and then improving upon your skill sets. This right here clearly only tells me that we're giving our talents away for free. That's what it is. We're giving our talents away for free. And we have to stop. We have to stop. So that list should be shocking to anyone. If you're in a position, or if you're in a career right there, if that's true, we need to talk. We need to talk. Not only do we need to talk to your bosses. We need to talk to your boss's bosses. That gap needs to be closed. It needs to be closed. And it's only going to be closed with what we do. All right, multiple interventions can contribute to improving labor market outcomes. While most of our research efforts focus on sizing the gap, our findings suggest several starting points of actions. All right, so what I've been showing you is off the charts, but here's some things that could help benefit, that could change the directions. diversifying hiring and promotion, and improving the workforce experience. That's easy to do. That's easy to do. Train people. When you hire them, train them effectively and accordingly. Create the environment that you want, that you can promote from inside and not have to always go outside to find new people. That creates a disastrous environment when you constantly keep going outside. Now, new faces are great to have, no question, don't get me wrong, but you should always be looking inside. And if you can't find it inside, then that's to be a question for you. Why can't we find anyone within our own institution or in our own organization to promote? So if we start looking there and start doing that, I'm telling you right now, it's going to make the workplace environment that much more stable. Strengthen education pathways. Start financial literacy in pre-K. Start financial literacy in pre-K. Work financial literacy from pre-K. Financial literacy needs to be just like a subject like math, science, history, social study, gym, lunch, whatever are the normal curriculums for schools. Financial literacy needs to be part of those normal curriculums. They need to be part. They need to be part. I love art, and I think it's important that we have that elective. I love technology, which I'm leading the charge in our school currently. Love it, but I'm going to have to put it out there. Financial literacy should come before those two. And again, nothing against our fine art people, nothing against our fine tech people, nothing against all of the electives that are out there that we have now more or less gotten rid of. Nothing against any of those. Financial literacy needs to be a math elective. It needs to be something in that same category. We need to start strengthening our educational pathway. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. Improve the quality of work disproportionately held by Black workers today. Improve the quality. Hold us as we shall hold you accountable. Because a lot of employers aren't doing their fair share. You're lackadaisical just like your employee. And then you're saying, oh, they're lazy, or they don't want to work, or they don't want to come to work. That's so far from the truth. You're not paying properly. You don't offer any benefits that make it worthy. And that should be on day one. We shouldn't be talking about 60 days, 90 days down the road. Do your part, employer, and I guarantee the employee will do their part because they'll have someone like me making sure that they're going to do their part. I'm about the employer as I am about the employee. It's got to work tandem, 50-50. That's how relationships work, 50-50. And unfortunately, it's not that way. And today, we're talking about making it that way. Prepare for the future for work. Okay, prepare for the future of work. Prepare for that future. Approximately 6.7 million Black workers, 42% of Black labor force currently hold jobs that can be subjected to disruption by 2030. So we're looking at a lot more people unemployed for what reason? None other than their skin color. Just that simple. Help the excluded enter the labor market. What I mean by excluded is I'm talking about those who have been incarcerated, those who those records can be expunged with the proper understanding. It's that easy. We're excluding people from the labor market all because they have a low offense. Something that could be wiped away because it used to be a major offense and now it's a parking ticket. We need to start integrating these individuals back into society and not excluding them further out of. We do that part, I'm telling you, closing the gap. This is all about closing the gap. And lastly, consider how to expand opportunities across industries and geographies. It's just that simple. We have to we have to do these things. Build Back Better has some of these things already incorporated in, but I'm saying now, build back better communities of color. Build Back Better has some of these things in it, but I'm now asking every single Black, Hispanic, also my Caucasian brothers and sisters, the low-end worker of that Caucasian ethnicity. Stop thinking that we are taking something from you. You yourself are being equally harmed by those same politicians that are harming us. Mitch McConnell in Kentucky, one of the poorest states in the union. Why does he keep getting elected over and over and over and over and over? And you folks in Kentucky, you're allowing him, but yet you're on the lowest end of that receiving end of wages. And they're not thinking about giving you anything more. But yet Mitch McConnell, who went into the Congress not as a multimillionaire, is eventually going to retire and die a multimillionaire. I think we should be asking all of these elected officials if their percentage of income is in the hundreds and thousands of percentages, and ours as their constituents is still in the teens. There's a problem there. But why do you keep electing these individuals? I'm done with Schumer. I'm done with Nancy Pelosi. I'm done with all of them. Every lot of them, every single last one of them have not done anything other than flaunt and taunt or tout their success and how much money they have. They're not doing for us. If they were doing for us, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. So it's time for us to get out of our own way and make it happen for us. And the only way to do that is for us to start closing these gaps, for us to start focusing on proper money management, for us to start looking at return on our investment. We're out there shopping. We're out there keeping this economy afloat, but we're not receiving nothing back in return for our purchasing power. We either start today or we're going to be, as I said, we're going to be 50 years down the road singing that same old Negro spiritual. We shall overcome. We done overcame. The thing is that some of us, or the majority of us, are still back there wondering, well, when is it my turn? Well, your turn has already come. It's now time for you to grab on. It's now time for you to get on. Stop letting that train or that bus or whatever it is keep circling you. Keep circling you. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. 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 That don't make no sense. Do it today. Do it today. Gold nuggets right here. Gold nuggets. Dropping nothing but gold nuggets. Boom, boom. Every one of these words that came out was a gold nugget. Do it today. All right. So I'm here to talk. I'm here to talk. Please, everybody, thank you as always. I so appreciate you. You want to get in contact with me? Here's the means in which you can. The website, leveragecreditrecovery.com. Leveragecreditrecovery.com. Meet the CEO. Go on. Put it in an invite. I will hook it up. I will make sure that you have everything that you need. You'll walk away with so much information. And again, it's always, as I stated, it's always about filling that cup, overflowing that cup with knowledge. The one thing that no one can take from you is your knowledge. Leverage Credit Recovery is our Gmail, leveragecreditrecovery@gmail.com. That's our email. Please, by all means, send us an email. And if you need instant access to me, ring me up, 805-428-9424. As always, folks, this is one of the most impressive parts of my Tuesdays, where I get to come and I get to sit down and I get to talk to you about the things that I like to do. And one of those things that I like to do is making sure that you, the working public, has everything that you need. Everything when it comes to getting you that most important knowledge that's going to help you with bettering your financial understandings, bettering your job opportunities, bettering your life, bettering your children's lives, bettering your future children's life. With that being said, thank you, everybody, for always tuning in. Tuesdays are the day that I love. I love you. I appreciate you. It's always a pleasure being with you. Take care. Be safe. Social distance. Wear that mask. Keep yourself safe. Protect yourself. Listen to the science. The science is there for you. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. Be safe. Peace, America.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.